Welcome to Sky Showbiz. We went to meet Siobhan Dongahy, one of the founder members of the Sugababes and now a solo artist. She's just released a rather excellent album called Ghosts, but was more than happy to talk to us about her time in the Sugababes, whether she'd ever record with Matcha again, and why she hates the coverage of Pete Doherty and Kate Moss.
There seems to be a fairly common assumption that girls' bands, sooner or later, just don't get on. Why do you think that is?
I think it's either good from the beginning or it's not. And I think for me in the Sugababes, it wasn't good from the beginning, and sort of myself and Keisha just never clicked. And I think that was the problem. But I look at bands like Girls Aloud, you know, and they look like they genuinely do get on. So I think it's either good from the beginning or it's just not. And I was in that band for 4 years, and you know, I left for a very good reason and wanted to leave it behind me. But obviously they're massive and everywhere, and of course there are songs that they've had out that I really enjoy, but I wouldn't say that I'm a fan, and you know, I go out and buy their records.
Was it a struggle to establish yourself as a solo act after your obviously initial brush of fame as a part of a girl band?
I think I'm still doing that. I think it's an uphill battle, and you have to convince people one by one. And coming from a band like the Sugababes, it is difficult. I mean, they've gone in a completely different direction. They're very pop, and I think I still make pop music, but it's very different. And I think, I don't know, people find it very hard to accept that you might go off into a different area. You
remain on fairly good terms with Matcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you ever record with her again?
God, I haven't been asked that, actually. I wouldn't rule it out. I think she's a fantastic singer. We really got on. We worked together for 4 years, and why rule it out? She's a lovely girl.
It's a very good time for British female solo artists at the moment. Why do you think it's peaking right now, and do you have any favourites among the crop?
A favourite would probably be Amy Winehouse. I loved her first record. I think it's really great that someone sort of my age is bringing sort of a jazz influence to pop music. I just think it's really interesting. I love her lyrics and just the way she sings. Amazing.
Spice Girls, about to rear their ugly, pretty, whatever you want to say, heads again. What's your views on their return?
I remember when Wannabe came out, and I remember just thinking it was genius. Like, everyone suddenly overnight, it was just this big thing. And it was a phenomenon, and I did really enjoy it for what it was. It was good fun, and I wasn't really into a lot of bands like that growing up. So, yeah, I guess I was into the Spice Girls. And I think they're all really likeable, and I just think, yeah, why not?
Do you think it's a better time for women in the music business now than it was when you started?
I think definitely. I think the industry in general has become sort of more accepting of sort of a broader range of genres. I remember when the Sugababes started, it literally was Westlife, A1, can't remember other people like that, and there wasn't really much room for anything else, and that's why everyone sort of thought Overload was a breath of fresh air. Whereas now, I think songs like that would easily make it onto playlists and stuff like that. In
earlier interviews, you've mentioned about the problems of working with someone with a drug problem. What do you make of the way that drug abuse is, to a degree, being glamorised by how much coverage people like Pete Doherty and Kate Moss are getting in the papers?
I'm probably one of the few people that really don't like it, you know, and someone isn't, you know, just this genius just because they're a heroin addict. There is a real kind of romance around it, which is really awful, because the reality of a heroin addict is, you know, just quite shocking to be around, and it's really not glamorous and not nice. I just think it's really dangerous to glamorise something like that, because at some point it's going to be the end of the line for you. It's just really, it's a really unhealthy way to live your life.
Have you ever had any pressures to do the red carpets, to do the kiss and tells, to do the glamorous shots?
I think it would certainly make it more, it'd make it easier for me if I did those things, but I just don't want to. I love writing songs and just feel a bit of an idiot, you know, turning up to the opening of an envelope, you know.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to keep coming back for more exclusive video on Sky Showbiz.